Hello.
Yeah, no doubt, sir. We'll move further.
Okay, fine. So today's topics are, we'll be starting with the basic statements, range statements. And using these range statements, we'll be writing a small program, that is a data entry program. Then there is something called as conditional statements. Then we'll consider loops also. Fine. Now you know that your program is a collection of instructions or commands given to the system to do a particular task, right? Now the program can be of two types. There is something called as subroutines and functions. Both are collection of instructions. But the main difference between a subroutine and a function is that functions will always return a value. Return a value means what? Suppose I'm using a VLOOKUP function. The VLOOKUP function is going to return a value. The value will be the result that you want, or it might be an error, right? But something will be returned. So functions will always return a value. Whereas subroutines generally don't return a value. Functions are cell-based. Cell-based means you call a function in a cell, whereas subroutines are object-based. They work on objects. Visual Basic is called as a object-oriented programming language. That means everything in Visual Basic is considered as a object. The Excel application, that itself is object. In an Excel application, you have a hierarchy. So first we have the Excel application. Then you have workbooks. Then you have worksheets. Then you have ranges. And then you have cells. So what we do in Visual Basic is, we write the statements to manipulate the objects. And that is done by using subroutines. We can also program in Word or PowerPoint. So if you want to write a program in Word, what will be the objects? The Word application, documents, pages, tables, like that. If you are going to write a program in PowerPoint, the objects will be presentations, slides, shapes, like that. Fine. We'll see this in detail in our consecutive programs. So subroutines are object-based, and functions will always have arguments. When I'm using a VLOOKUP function, I specify some arguments, right? Lookup value, table array, column index number, range lookup. So these are the arguments that is given to the function to get a result. Ideally, we don't specify any arguments in a subroutine. We can specify argument, but generally we don't give arguments in a subroutine. Subroutines always begin with the word sub. Sub, name of the program, and it will end with end sub. All the programming statements has to be written in between the sub and the end sub. Likewise, functions always start with the word function, then name of the function, then arguments, and it will end with end function. You don't have to type this end function and end sub. The moment you press enter, this will be automatically written for you. Fine. Now in Visual Basic, you can also create your own functions. These are called as UDF.
Sir, can you be slow?
Hello?
Little bit. Yeah.
Pardon?
No, can you go a little bit slow?
Yeah, sure. So you understood the difference between subroutines and functions. Subroutines are object-based. They work on objects. Suppose I want to add a sheet, delete a sheet, rename a sheet. You write a subroutine for that, not a function. Subroutines ideally don't have arguments. Like we are giving arguments for a VLOOKUP function or a sum function. You don't give arguments for a subroutine. Whereas functions will always return a value. Are cell-based. You call the function in a cell. Functions will always have arguments, and the method of writing a function is you write function, name of function, and then end function. Okay. Now it is also possible in Visual Basic to write your own functions. So these are called as UDF. UDF means user defined functions. Now for example, we have a function called as VLOOKUP. We have a function called as sum, right? So sum function is used to add the numbers. Likewise, do you have a function which can give me the difference between two numbers? In Excel, do you have a function which will give me the difference between two numbers? Yes?
Subtraction.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, subtraction you are telling? Two
Yeah,
different
subtraction.
values.
Subtraction, getting the difference between two numbers. Suppose I have two numbers, say 45 and say 25. Do you have a function which will give me the difference between these two numbers? Like you have a sum function, do you have a subtract function? You don't have
I
a
think no,
subtract function.
no. Yeah.
You don't have a subtract function.
Yes.
If I want to get the difference between two numbers, what I do is I use the operator minus symbol, right?
Yes.
But you don't have a function. So what we'll do is we'll write a simple function here. We'll write a function which will give me the difference between two numbers. Okay. Now, how do you go to the Visual Basic editor? From now on, we'll be coding the program. We are not going to record. We are going to write the code. So how will you go to the Visual Basic editor?
Developer.
Correct. One method is, there are multiple methods. One method is you click on the developer tab, then you click on Visual Basic, or you can also go to View, Macros, View Macros. We'll get a list of macros here. From here, you can select any macro and click on Edit. That will take you to the Visual Basic editor. Or you can also press Alt F11. Alt F11 is a keyboard shortcut for going to the Visual Basic editor. Alt F11. Now we are going to write these functions in a new module. So how will you insert a module? You click on Insert, Module, and you'll see on the left-hand side, one more module has been inserted. Okay. We can also rename the module, because suppose you are writing many programs in different modules or recording. Over a time, there might be 20 or 30 modules. Now, suppose you have written a program today, the logic is very fresh in your mind. But after say 6 months or 1 year, you might want to edit the program. At that time, you may not remember the logic, or you may not remember in which module you have saved the subroutines. So better than scrolling through all the modules and double clicking it, what you can do is you can rename the module. For renaming the module, select the module that you want to rename. Go to this properties window. You have a name property there. You remove that and you can name it as functions. So now you can know that all my functions are in this particular module. Okay. We are going to write a function which will give me the difference between two numbers. So function will always start with the word function, then name of the function. We are naming the function as subtract, and it takes two arguments, value 1 and value.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm not getting to change the model 1 name.
You click on that module, then go to the properties window.
Okay.
Like you normally did, just delete that module name and retype any name.
Then
Don't
enter
click on
the
that. Don't click on that name. In front of name, you have module 1 written, right?
Yeah.
Just remove that.
Yeah. I just did. And I am getting not a legal object name function.
Use S functions.
Okay.
Don't write it as function, because function is a reserved word. Functions, or give any other name.
Okay. Okay, got it, sir. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Now go to that code window. Type function subtract. Subtract is the name of the function. It takes two arguments, value 1, value 2, and the moment I press enter, this end function will be automatically written. Now what should this subtract function do? It should give me the difference between value 1 and value 2. Make sure that the function name that you have written here and where you are storing the result, the spelling is correct. Okay, else it will give a name error. I'll copy and paste it in the chat box. Now minimize this Visual Basic editor. Go back to the Excel sheet. Select any blank sheet and type some random values. Now how will you call a function? How will you call a VLOOKUP function? Equal to VLOOKUP, right? Likewise, to call our subtract function, we'll write equal to subtract, and we can see that it is coming in the drop down also. Now this takes two arguments. So the first argument is 54, that is A16. Second argument is B16. Now the moment I press enter, it should give me the result. So we have written a function which is not available in your default Excel application. And these are called as UDF, user defined functions.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this was just a introduction to the functions. Now let us write one more function. Now I want to write one more function. So there is no need to again insert a module. You can continue here itself. So place your cursor after that end function. Now I'll write a function which will check whether a particular person is eligible for voting or not. So we'll name the function as vote, and it takes one argument, that is age. Now the moment I press enter, we'll automatically see a divider line. It will divide the functions. Now how will you determine whether a particular person is eligible for voting or not? If that particular person has attained the age of 18, right, equal to or above 18, then he is eligible for voting, right? So we'll use a conditional statement here. If age is greater than or equal to 18, then what should the function do? It should give me the result as eligible. Now here there can be only two situations. Either the person's age is greater than 18 or it will be less than 18, right? So we can put the other option in the else vote will be not eligible. When you are giving a if function in Excel, we have an opening bracket and a closing bracket. So the closing bracket tells Excel that this particular function has ended there. But in a program, you don't specify a closing bracket. What you write is end if. When it reads the statement of end if, then Visual Basic knows that this particular function has ended there. So every if has to be ended with a end if. Okay. I'll copy and paste it. Now let us run this function. I'm going to take the difference that we got here, the result, as the age. So equal to vote. It takes one argument, that is the age. We'll see it has returned me the result.
So I have a doubt. So if we write up equal to vote, whether we need to select the fh function by clicking it, or how automatically this will come?
You can see there are again multiple methods. Suppose I want to use a VLOOKUP function. One method is I can click on this fx and then here I can type VLOOKUP. That is one method, right?
Yes.
Or the other method is you just write equals VLOOKUP and then type out the arguments.
No, if this VL, then what we need to do?
You don't have to type. You don't have to type the entire function name. The moment you type VL, you will see that VLOOKUP is getting selected, right? That function. Then you just press a tab.
Okay, tab.
The moment you press a tab, the entire function will be written for you. Or the other method is we can also write equal to VLOOKUP Now what happens is I need to type out the arguments, or I can also press Ctrl A. When you press Ctrl A, it will display a function argument box like this. You can also type the arguments inside this.
Okay.
After you type the function, Ctrl A for apple.
Okay. Okay.
And this will work for any function, not only for your VLOOKUP, if, and, or even for the function that we have written. If I type subtract and then Ctrl A, it is going to open a window like this.
Wherever the argument comes only, right? For example, for vote, I can't enter Control A.
Yeah, you can see equal to vote, Control A. For any function, this will work. And you type out the age here. And you can see that I typed the age 14. So it is saying not eligible. Or you can also give a cell reference also. Only thing is that you won't get a help here. If I click on this help, it will say no help available because this is a function that we created.
Yeah, you said.
Now, here we have given a single condition, right? If age is more than 18, then vote or else not vote. Likewise, we can also give multiple conditions. Now let us see how we can give multiple conditions. For conditional statements, these are called as conditional statements. There are three structures that is available. One is if you have a single condition, and then if you have multiple conditions. So if you have a single condition, then I can write if condition is satisfied or true, then do some program. PS is program statements, else do something other programming statements, and it has to be ended with the end if. This is if you have one condition. But what if I have multiple conditions? Then in that case, two structures are available. One structure is if condition one is true, then do some programming statement, else again if condition 2 is true, then some other programming statement. That means it will branch out. And then again else. Like this, you can go on continuing. So if you are writing this else and if as separate lines, then the number of end ifs should match the number of ifs. So in this case, I have 3 ifs, so I need to write 3 times end if. It is just like when you are specifying a nested if. The number of closing brackets and the number of opening brackets should match. But if I write else if as a single statement, then only one end if is enough. So I'll just copy and write it again. Other alternative structure is I can write if condition 1 is true, then some programming statement, and I will write else if. That is a single word. It is a reserved word. Else if we check for condition 2. In this case, I need to specify only one if. Even if I have multiple ifs, I can just specify, finish it off with one end if. But in the earlier case, the number of end ifs should match the number of ifs. Okay.
Why is it so, sir? We are using else.
Pardon?
Why is it so? Here only one end if is enough.
See, that is because this was introduced from 2007 onwards, Excel 2007 onwards. But there are still people using 2003 even today. So for backward compatibility, you have this particular option also. In 2003, there was no else if structure available. It was from 2007 onwards.
Okay.
So both of these you can use. It will give the same result. Okay. Now using these statements, I want you to write a function. We are going to write a function which will calculate the tax. I will give you the slabs. I want you to try it out. Okay. Now this tax function, it should take only one argument, that is the gross. And you check for the gross. If gross is less than or equal to 2.5 lakhs, then tax should be 0. If gross is between say 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, then your tax should be 10% of gross minus 2.5 lakhs. If the gross is between 5 lakhs, 8 lakhs, then tax will be 20% of gross minus 5 lakhs plus 25,000. I'll explain each and every condition for you. And the gross is more than 8 lakhs. Then tax will be 30% of gross minus 8 lakhs plus 85,000. Okay. Now the first one is, I think this is easily understood, right? If it is less than or equal to 2.5 lakhs, tax will be 0. Now suppose my gross is 3 lakhs. I can split this 3 lakhs as 2.5 lakhs plus 0.5 lakhs, right? So on the first 2.5 lakhs, the tax should be 0. But what about the remaining 0.5 lakhs? It should be calculated at the rate of 10%. So in this case, it will be tax equal to 10% of gross. Gross is 3 lakhs minus 2.5 lakhs. That will be equals 10% of 50,000, right? And that should give me the value as 5,000. In the second case, suppose the gross is 6 lakhs. Now I can split 6 lakhs as 2.5 lakhs plus 2.5 lakhs plus 1 lakh. On the first 2.5 lakhs, the tax will be 0. On the second 2.5 lakhs, it should be calculated as 10% of that, that is 25,000, plus on the remaining 1 lakh, it should calculate as 20% of that. So that will be 20,000. So this should give me the value as 45,000. Getting this, everyone?
Yes.
This 25,000 which are written, that is the value that is between 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs. Okay, even that should be considered. So 10% of 2.5 lakhs will be 25,000. In the third case, suppose the gross is 9 lakhs. I can split 9 lakhs as 2.5 lakhs plus 2.5 lakhs plus 3 lakhs plus 1 lakh. On the first 2.5 lakhs, it will be 0. On the second 2.5 lakhs, 25,000. On that 3 lakhs, that is the gap between 5 lakhs to 8 lakhs, it should be 20% of 3 lakhs, that is 60,000. And on the remaining 1 lakh, it will be 30,000. So this should give me 85,000 plus 30,000, 1 lakh 15,000. Can you try it? I want you to write a program, a function, which will calculate the tax according to these slabs. I'll copy and paste it in the. The function should take only one argument, that is gross.
Sir, what is this 85,000 plus 85,000?
85,000 is if your gross is 9 lakhs, I am splitting it like this, 2.5 lakhs. Now what is the first 2.5 lakhs?
0. That's equal
On which
to
there should be no tax.
Yes.
The second 2.5 lakhs is the difference between 2.5 lakhs and 5 lakhs.
Yeah.
Right. And the second one, that is 3 lakhs, that is the difference between 5 lakhs to 8 lakhs. Right?
Yes.
So the difference between 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, on that amount, the tax should be 10%. On the difference between 5 lakhs to 8 lakhs, the tax should be 20%.
20%.
And whatever is remaining after say 8 lakhs, that is our 1 lakh here. The tax should be calculated as 30%. Now, 10% of 2.5 lakhs is 25,000. 20% of that difference, 5 lakhs to 8 lakhs, that is 3 lakhs, will be 60,000. And if I add this up, it comes to 85,000.
Okay.
And the remaining 1 lakh, rate of 30%, it will be 30,000. So if I add this up, it comes to 1,15,000.
Okay.
If you want, I will give you a start. You can continue here itself. function. I am calling the function as I tax, and it takes one argument, that is gross. Now you can try this. Aditya, I think you joined. Sorry, Abhidipta, right? I think you joined late. Are you able to follow? You need to use a multiple ifs here. Any structure you can use. I'll give you 2 more minutes. Done? See, the first condition for checking that, we'll write if gross is less than or equal to 2.5 lakhs. Now you can't write 2.5 lakhs in text. It should be 250,000. Then I tax be 0. Okay. Then else if I'm checking for the second condition. Now the second condition is that the value should be between 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, right? So one method to check for a value between 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs is I can write gross should be greater than 250,000 and gross should be less than or equal to 5 lakhs. And now this statement is absolutely correct. If you want to check for a value in your range, you can use a AND function. But can I also write it like this? Instead of writing gross greater than 2.5 lakhs and gross less than or equal to 5 lakhs, can also write it like this. Will this work? Gross less than or equal to 5 lakhs. Even this will work because suppose the gross is 2 lakhs, then this condition is satisfied, the first condition. So it will give the tax as 0. But suppose the gross is 3 lakhs. If the gross is 3 lakhs, then the first condition will not be satisfied. So it will automatically come to the second condition. Here it will check whether 3 lakhs is less than 5 lakhs. It is, so the condition is satisfied. So it will go to this particular programming statement. The program always follows the top to down approach. Okay. So if it is between 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, I tax should be how much? 10%. Now again, you can't write 10% here. You either need to write 10 by 100 and multiplied by that value or 0.1. 0.1 multiplied by gross minus 2.5 lakhs. Likewise, we'll write the other conditions also. So again, else if now if the gross is not less than 2.5 lakhs, if it is not between 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, not between 5 lakhs to 8 lakhs, then it should be definitely be more than 8 lakhs, right? So either I can continue here with an else if and again check for that condition, or I can directly write else. So what are you given else will be executed if all the other conditions are failed or not satisfied. So here I can directly write I tax equals 0.3 plus 85,000. Okay.
Why here we are not giving if function, sir?
Why?
Why we are not giving if function here?
No, else is when all the other conditions fail, then whatever is given in the else part, that will be executed. So for the last one, there is no need to give else if. Even if you give else if, it is absolutely right.
Okay.
Else means do, if all other things fail, do whatever is in the else part. Then end if. Since we have used else if everywhere, only end if, one end if is enough. I'll copy and paste it. Okay. Now we'll type some random values in the Excel sheet.
We are closing this function as NDIF or
If has to be closed as NTIF.
okay.
For
After
end
the
function,
30,000.
for end function, that will automatically come. You don't have to type it out.
Okay.
Now, how do you call this tax function? Equals I tax, then the gross. 125 is less than 2.5, so it is giving 0. Now you can see that for 3 lakhs, it has calculated the tax as 5,000. For 6 lakhs, 45, and 9 lakhs is 1,15,000. Working fine for everyone?
For currency, we are giving that symbol.
Right. The shortcut is Control-Shift-4.
You want to change the currency from dollar to INR? We have any shortcut, or we need to go?
No, you don't have a shortcut for that. You need to go to Format Cells and change that dollar to INR or this rupee symbol. Now, in my case, what I have done is there is something called as regional settings. If you go to Control Panel, regional settings, there you can change the currency to rupees. And if you change it in the regional settings, it will be applied globally. You open any Excel sheet, by default, it will show rupees. Otherwise, you need to go to Format Cells and change that symbol from there.
Okay, but yeah, that we need to do in Control Panel, right?
Control Panel, regional settings.
Okay.
Or the other method is you select all the range, right click, Format Cells. Under currency, you have this symbol. You can select it from here also. You have all the symbols here.
Okay.
Now, you know that there are more than 350 functions in Excel. All these functions are classified into different categories, right? Now, if I want to see the function list window, one method is you click on this FX on the formula bar, or you can also press Shift F3. Both will display the same window. Now here you can see there are many categories here. So if I click on the drop down, it will show me all the functions related to financial functions, date and time, statistical. And when you write your own function, you'll also have one category called as user defined. what will this category give you? It will show all the list of functions that you have written. So if I click it, you can see that it shows the list of all the functions that we have written: vote, subtract, and itax. It will be stored in a category called as user defined. Okay. This much is clear, everyone?
Yeah, yes, sir. This one, Alt F3, right? Shift F3.
Shift F3. Shift F3 is the keyboard shortcut for displaying that macro, this function list window. Yes, Parag, Tanvir, Vijay, all clear?
Yes, sir. Function, you can keep on writing many functions, right? That will be displayed there.
Right. Huh.
Okay.
You can write any customized functions.
Okay. You can keep on writing, right?
Right.
Okay.
And it will be automatically stored in that user-defined
Right. User defined
category. And in this subroutine that we have written, now there is no limitation here. You can go on writing any number of functions.
Okay.
But only thing is that it is strongly suggested that you compartmentalize the functions. For example, let us say you are writing a function for finance department. Then you create a module called as finance functions and write all the functions for that. Suppose then after that you are writing some other function, let us say for the sales or the marketing department. Then you create one more module. So what that will do is it will help you to edit or make any changes in those functions very easily. Else you need to scroll through all the functions and
like folders you can create it like.
Correct, exactly.
Okay.
Just to make your work easier, that's all.
Yeah, right.
But otherwise, this can take any number of functions. There is no limitation.
Okay.
I do have one query. Like in Excel, we use nested if. We can say we can give more than 9 or 10 multiple times of condition.
Right.
Same kind of way.
Here there is no limitation.
There is no.
You can use any number of ifs.
That is good thing. Right.
Okay, so this was about functions. Now we are going to learn about subroutines. In the earlier class, when we recorded a macro, you will see that all the recorded macros are subroutines. You can't record a function. You can only record a subroutine. So here you can see that it is saying sub. Okay, that is short for subroutine. This is the name of the program. And this program does not take any arguments. So we have a open and close bracket. Then if I come down, at the end you will see there is a end sub. That means this is the end of that particular subroutine. Fine. From now on, we'll be writing the subroutines. We'll be writing the code for that. First, what we'll do is we'll see the basic statements. How to select a cell, how to select a range of cells. Okay. How to select the active cell, put some value in that particular cell. All these statements we'll see. Then we'll see how we can write a small program using these statements. Now, since we are going to learn a new topic, we are going to write it in a new module. So you go to Visual Basic Editor, Insert, New Module. You can also right click. Suppose you want to insert a module, you can right click in this left hand side and you can insert a module from there. Even that will work. So go to Insert, Module. We'll name this module as Basic Statements. I'm using two words here, basic statements. So we need to separate it by a underscore. All the naming rules follow here also. Okay, you can't have a space. It should not begin with a numerical value. It should not be a function name. You can use a underscore if you want. We'll call our subroutine as sub range statements. And the moment I press enter, end sub will be automatically written for you. Now, suppose I want to select a single cell, say the A1 cell. I can write range in quotes A1 dot select. What this statement will do is it will simply select the cell A1. It won't do any formatting or programming there. Just it will select. Suppose I want to select a range, say A1 to A10. When you write range in quotes A1 to A10 dot select. This will select a range. Now suppose I want to select ranges at two different locations. For example, let us say I want to select the range from A1 to A10 as well as from say D15 D20. So how do you normally select it? Forget about programming. Suppose I'm asking you to select two ranges at different locations. How will you select it? We use a control key, right? Control and select the other range. The same thing, if I want to do it using your program, you write range 1 to A10, comma is similar to pressing the control key. D15 to D20. Dot select. Suppose I want to select the cell A10. You write range A10 dot cell. Now the A10 cell is called as a active cell. Suppose you select a range. If I select A10, a single cell, that is called as the active cell. Even if I select a range, then the first cell is called as the active cell. Suppose I select a range, and if I type something, it will be always displayed in the active cell first. Okay. Now suppose I want to put any value in the active cell. I can write active cell dot value. Plus, you can write any text here. Now I have written a program.
Sorry, once again. Can you repeat it? I didn't.
Which one? This active cell. Hello.
It's like confused. Yeah, from range onwards.
Huh.
Can you
See?
again?
Yeah. See, if I want to select the A1 cell, what I normally do is just click on A1. But if I want the program to do it, then I need to tell it go to that range A1. And how do I tell it? I say range A1 dot select. So what the program will do is from anywhere it will go to that A1 cell. It will simply select. And what will A1 to A10 do? It will select the range like this, A1 to A10. Suppose you have some data which is written in A1 to A10, and you want to select that range and copy it somewhere, then we need to select it first. So when I say range A1 to A10 dot select, the program will select that particular range. Then you can maybe make it bold or copy and paste it somewhere else. So right now we are hard coding the range. After that, we'll also see how to dynamically select the data that you have. And A1 to A10 will simply select different ranges, A1 to A10 and D15 to D20. And if you want to select a single cell, A10 dot select, that is called as active cell. Now I'll just run it step by step, and you can see what is happening on the Excel sheet also. Now, whenever you write a program, that program will always have errors. If you directly run the program, it might give an error. At that time, you might not know that on which statement that particular error is coming. So ideally, what you should do is, once you have written a program, you need to run the program step by step. The method of running the program step by step is called as debug. And how do you debug? You press the function key F8. Okay, now just watch on the screen. Now suppose I want to run this particular program step by step. I keep my cursor anywhere inside the subroutine, and I'll press F8. The moment I press F8, you will see that the name of the program is getting highlighted, so that Visual Basic knows that this is the program that I want to highlight. Again, I press F8, it will move to the statement range A1 dot select. Now the statement which is highlighted, that is getting processed. It will not get executed. It will get executed only when the highlight moves to the next line, next statement. And how do you move to the next statement? Again, you press F8. So to debug a program, you repeatedly press F8. Fine. Now, when I press F8, the program runs step by step. But now I can't see what is happening on the Excel sheet. So what I can do is, I can place the Visual Basic editor and the Excel sheet side by side, so that when I run the program step by step, I can also see what is happening on the Excel sheet. Fine. So how do you put the windows side by side? You select that Visual Basic editor, keep your cursor inside the subroutine, and press the Windows key and the right arrow. The moment I press the Windows key and the right arrow key, we'll see that the Visual Basic editor has gone to the right hand side. Likewise, I'll select the Excel sheet and press Windows and left arrow. So both the windows will be displayed side by side. Now when I run the program step by step, I can also see what is happening on the Excel sheet. Is this clear, everyone?
All I need to do only, these two will be coming vertically. All I need to do by selecting only the Excel, right? Not in VBA or how?
No. Both you need to do. I need to place Excel as well as VBA side by side. So you need to go to Visual Basic window, Windows key right, then you click on the Excel sheet, Windows key left. Okay. Because if you just keep these windows, the Visual Basic editor on the right hand side, and if you click on that Excel sheet, the Visual Basic editor will go beyond that Excel sheet, behind that. So to prevent that, we need to place both the windows side by side. Now I'll run the program step by step. Just watch on the screen. Right now my cell position is D11. I click on the Visual Basic editor and press F8. Now it is on the range A1 dot select statement. So it is getting processed. It is not getting executed. But the moment I press F8 again, you will see that the cell position has gone from D11 to A1. Again, I press F8. We'll see that it has selected the range from A1 to A10. Again, F8. You will see it has selected A1 to A10, D15 to D20. Again, F8. It has selected the cell A10. So this A10 is called as the active cell. Now suppose I want to put any value in the active cell, it is saying active cell dot value equal to Excel4all. Okay. I'll copy and paste it in the chat. I want all of you to run this step by step.
So first, what should we need to do after writing the program?
After writing the program, keep your cursor in that Visual Basic Editor and you press Windows and right arrow. Then click on the Excel sheet, Windows and left arrow. You can interchange the windows. It is not mandatory that the Visual Basic Editor should always come on the right hand side, Excel on the left hand side. You can also place Excel on the right hand side, Visual Basic Editor on the left hand side. Only thing is that both the windows should be visible. If anyone is using Windows,
after coming this Windows, so what should we need to do?
You need to press F8. Go on pressing F8. The program will run step by step.
So, where should I keep my cursor and press F8?
I didn't get you. Cursor what?
No. Where should I keep my cursor and press
It should be inside. It should be inside the subroutine. Inside that program, and then you press F8. Go on pressing F8. It will automatically move to the next statement.
It's not coming.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Fine. Yeah.
But one thing is, Aman, now I have executed the same thing. It is working very well. But after completing the first end,
it is going to the functions.
Yeah, it is going to the functions. Second module.
Good. Yeah, yes. I will come to that. Yeah. But the program is working fine, everyone?
Yes, it is working very well.
Yes.
Okay. Now see here, like Parag told, even when you debug it, sometimes the program's control will go to that functions module. Okay. Now this is a bug in your Visual Basic Editor. It happens only when you are running it step by step. So to prevent that, what we can do is we can comment the statements in that functions module. Commenting will not execute that particular statement. For example, if I comment this active cell dot value equal to Excel4all, that will not be processed. That will not be executed. So how do you comment it? By putting a single quote before the statement. Now you'll see that I have put a single quote before that statement, and that statement color has become green. That means it is a comment. Any statement that is commented will not be executed. So Visual Basic knows that this is a comment, so there is no need to process it or execute it. I'll run the program again and we'll see the difference. I'll remove this Excel4all. Now I've pressed F8. It has gone to A1 to A10, then It has gone to A10, but you will see that it has skipped that comment. So that will be not processed. Now, why are these comments necessary? As I told you earlier, you will be writing a program, and when you write the program, the logic will be very fresh in your mind. But suppose you come back to the same program, say after 6 months or 1 year, you may not remember the logic. So when you are writing a program, you should always, along with the program, write comments. So here I can write the comment saying that this is for selecting ranges, something like that. When I come back to the program after some months, I can come to know that these statements are written for selecting the range. So comments will always help you in understanding the logic of a particular program. Okay. Now in this case, you must have noticed, some of you must have noticed that when I run the program step by step, it is automatically going to this functions module. So to prevent that, we can also comment the functions temporarily. So when you comment the functions, of course it will not run, it will not be executed. So how will you comment it? You go to each statement and give a single quote. But when you have many programming statements that has to be commented, this will become a very time-consuming process. So we can also select a collection and comment it. So for that, what you do is, first to check whether you have a toolbar like this. This is called as the edit toolbar. Just check whether you have this toolbar on that Visual Basic interface. You have a standard toolbar and an edit toolbar. The toolbar that you see below those menus is called as the standard toolbar. This will be a default toolbar on all the Visual Basic editors. But just check whether you have this edit toolbar. Yes. If you don't have it, how do you display it? You click on View, Toolbars, and select Edit. Those who don't have it, click on View, Toolbars, Edit, and you can place it on the top. After this, you select all the statements. Click on the Functions module, select all the statements, Control A, and in the Edit toolbar, you can see there is a hand symbol. Next to the hand symbol, you have the option to comment block. So if you have a collection of statements that you want to comment, you can use comment block. The moment I click on comment block, all the statements will be commented. Now this function will no longer execute. After that, you can also uncomment it. Next to that comment block, you have a undo arrow that can be used to uncomment it. So once you uncomment this, the program will not go to that functions module again when you run it step by step. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now I have written a program and the program is running fine without any error. And I close the Visual Basic editor. Now we are not given any shortcut for this particular program, nor have we assigned the macro to a button. Then how will you run it? You go to View, Macros, View Macros. All the macros that is either written or recorded will be displayed here, right? So select, you can also see that we have this range statements which we just wrote. So select it and click on Run. and you'll see that the entire program is run. But it happens so fast, you'll not see the range selections. Directly it will come to this Excel4all. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'll make some more changes. Alt F11 to go back to the Visual Basic Editor. Now this active cell, that is A10, I want to move the cell from A10 to A11. So if you want to move a cell, we need to use something called as a offset statement. Now I want to move the cell from A10 to A11. So when the cell is moving from A10 to A11, what is changing? Is the row changing or the column changing? From A10 to A11. The row is changing, right? Row is changing. The column remains same. So if I want to move the cell from A10 to A11, I can write active cell dot offset. When you're using this offset statement, always the row will come first, then the column. So if I want to move it one row, I will write 1, 0 dot select. What this will do is, it will move the cell from A10 to A11. Now A11 is the active cell. Suppose now I want to move the cell from A11 to B11. What will be the offset statement? A11 to B11.
0,
0, 1. Perfect. So active cell dot offset 0, 1 dot select. If I want to put any value in that B11, again I can write active cell dot value equals, say, okay. Now if I run it, now I know that this program is error free, so I can also directly run it. Okay. So offset statement is always used to move the cell from any position. Suppose you want to move the cell to the left, right, up or down, we can use a offset statement. Now using these statements, we'll write a
but
small
to run
program.
the macros. Okay.
See, there are multiple methods to run the macro. It depends where you are situated, where your cursor is. Suppose I am inside the Visual Basic Editor. My cursor is inside the subroutine, and if I want to run the macro step by step, I press F8, right? But suppose my cursor is inside the Visual Basic Editor and I want to run the entire program in one shot. Then you can click on this play button. You can see on the top. I'll expand this. See on the top, you have a play button, a pause button, and a stop button. So if I click on the play button, it will run all the statements at the same time. Or you can also press F5. F5 when you're inside the Visual Basic Editor. It will run the entire program. And if you have closed the Visual Basic Editor, and if you want to run it, you press Alt F8, select that program, and click on Run. Okay.
Okay.
Now using these statements, we'll write a small program, that is a data entries program. We'll continue in the same module. We'll name it as subroutine data entries. Now what this program should do is, sorry, what this program should do is, it should print the header first. In A1, it should print the header, name, post, department, and salary. Then after this, it should get the name from the user, name, post, department, salary from the user, and what our user has entered, that should be saved here one by one. Okay, that is the objective of the program. Now the name should be printed in A1. So how will I go to A1? Range A1.select. Now that is called as active cell. So if I want to put any value in the active cell, I can write active cell dot value equals name. Okay. So what these two statements will do is, from anywhere it will go to A1 and put the value name there. Now I need to put post in the next cell, that is B1. So how will I go to B1?
Range B1.
Correct. Perfect. Now just watch on the screen. So if I want to put anything in B1, I can write range B1 dot select, and then again I can write active cell dot value equal to post. Perfect. But see what happens here. It will print name, then post, then I can say range C1 dot select, then active cell equal to DEPT, and then salary. So when I write salary, what is my cell position? D1. When I get the values from the user, the name should be printed here in A2. So how will I come from D1 to A2?
Did move to say?
Huh? Yeah, hello?
Yeah, actually your voice is very low, sir.
My voice?
Voice is leaking.
Yeah, it's gone very low.
One minute.
Oh, it's okay.
Hello? Okay, fine. See, my final cell position is D1. But when I get the inputs from the user, the name should come on A2. So if I want to come from D1 to A2, you can use the offset statement. Now suppose, see
Yeah,
here.
offset.
Now see here, the cell which I have colored in yellow, let us say that is the current position. Now suppose I want to move the cell to the right side, say E7, then I can write it as 0, 1. If I want to move it down, I can write 1, 0. But if I want to move the cell to the left-hand column, that is C7, then I need to write it as 0, -1. And if I want to move the cell up, I need to write -1, 0. Fine. So positive numbers will always take it to the right side or down, and negative numbers will take me to the left side or the upper side. So if I want to move the cell from D1 to A2, I need to write offset 1, -3, because I need to come one row down, then 1, 2, 3. Fine. So using the minus value can be confusing. One more thing is that by mistake, suppose I write 0, 1, -4, it will give an error because I can only go up to A2. I can't go after that, left of that. So that is going to give an error. So better than using range statement, I can use a offset statement. So here what I'll do is, instead of writing range b1.select, I'll write active cell dot offset, and since I want to move to b1, I'll write 0, 1 dot select. When I write dot select, first to understand this, the logic, when I write active cell dot offset 0, 1 dot select, the cell will physically move from A1 to B1, then again from B1 to C1. Then when I type salary, it has again moved to D1. So the same situation arises. So instead of dot select, what I will write is 0, 1 dot value equal to post. What this particular statement will do is, from A1, it will come to B1, print post here, and again go back to the same position, that is A1. Always it will come back to the same position. So once I typed the salary, my position is still A1, and if I want to come down, I can just write 1, 0. Select means it will physically move the cell, but when I write value, it will put the value in that particular cell and come back to the original location. So if I'm putting post in B1, how will I put department in C1? What will be the offset statement? Remember that
Offset 0,
0, 2, right?
Yeah.
Because my cell position is still A1. So you don't have to type it again. Just copy this, Control C, Control V, and make this as 2. And this will be DPT. Then again, for salary, 3, and the header will be salary. I'll run this step by step and you can see the difference. I'll erase this first. Now to run this particular program, step by step, I need to keep my cursor inside that. F8. Now see that A1 has been selected. Now it has printed name, then post. Now you'll see that the cell position is still A1. Okay, it has not moved from there. Then salary, department, then salary. Okay, I'll copy and paste it in the chat. Now we have typed the header. Now what is the next step? We need to get the values on the user. Yeah, data can be divided into two parts. Whenever you speak of a data, it can be either constant or it can be a variable, right? Okay. Data can be classified into two types. One is a constant, and then
Sir,
we have a
sorry to. Sir, I have a doubt. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah, go ahead.
Again, my data is coming back to the function. So we need to give the function command as.
No. I told you, you select all the functions and you click on this comment block.
Yeah, that is what. So
Control A, then click on this comment block. All the statements will be commented. Once the statements are commented, it will no longer go to that particular function.
Fine.
So your data can be classified into two types, constant and a variable. Now constant means what? The value of a constant will remain same throughout the program. For example, I can say speed of light. Speed of light is going to be constant. You go to any part of the world, the speed of light is going to be constant. It is not going to change. Likewise, value of pi, it is going to remain constant. So if I'm going to use the value of pi or speed of light in my program, I don't have to define it as a variable. I can define it as a constant because throughout the program, the value is going to remain same. But variables will always change. For example, the age of a particular employee, the name of a particular employee, right? The company's name, the salary, all these are going to be variables. Variables means it is going to change during some time in the program. Either it can change through every loop or it might change after some time. Okay? So, but the main thing is that it is changeable. Now, even in variable, there are many types. You have a string variable, you have numerical variables, you have date variable, you have logical variables. Logic means true or false. No. Suppose I want to give the marital status. There can be only two options. Either the person is married or is not married, right? So that will come on the logical variable. Now, you know that there are many programming languages, right? You have a Java language, you have a C language, C++, Visual Basic. In all the other languages, like C language, Java language, before you use a variable in a program, it has to be defined. Okay, it is compulsory that you define a variable, then you use that variable in your program. But in Visual Basic, there is no hard and fast rule. Even if you don't define a variable, you can still use it in the program. Okay, this is the one character of Visual Basic that separates from all other languages. When you don't define a variable and you use it, then the type of that variable becomes a variant. So in Visual Basic, you also have a data type called as variant. Variant means it can store any type of data. It can store string variables, it can store string values, numerical values, date values, logical values, anything can be stored. Fine. Suppose I want to define a variable.
Okay.
Suppose I want to define a variable, then you need to write it as dim, the name of the variable, as string. You need to specify the type also. Dim stands for dimension. Now here in our program, ideally we need to have 4 variables, that is 3 string variables, 3 variables which can accept a character, and 1 numerical variable. Now if I want to define a variable called as emp name, I can write it as dim emp name as string. Ideally, all the variables that you are going to use should be defined in the start of the program. Even if you don't define it in the start, you can write it anywhere. It is not going to give any error. But ideally, when you write a program, it should be in a structured manner, right? So all the variables that you are going to use in the program should be defined in the start itself. Now dim is a reserved word. You can't change that. Emp name is a variable, and that name of the variable can be anything. I can also write it as ABC. It don't make any difference. But always give meaningful names to the variables. Because like I said earlier, when you come back to the same program after say 6 months or 1 year, you might not remember why this variable ABC was defined. But if you define it as emp name, then instantly you can know that this is something to do with employee name. Okay? So always give meaningful names. Now I need to get the value in this variable called as emp name. And how will you get the value? From the user by using input box. So here I will write emp name equals input box. Input box is a statement in Visual Basic, and in the bracket I will write enter the name. Now when I run this particular program, that input box statement is going to display a window, and I can type any name in that window, and that name that I type will be stored temporarily in that emp name. Okay, I'll just run it and show it to you. Now I'll just press F8, run the program data entries. You will see that you are getting a window like this. This particular window is displayed by that input box statement. Now suppose I enter a value here, Anand. That Anand will be stored in that variable called as emp name. Okay, now the moment I click on OK, it has been stored in that variable called as emp name. Now like I have got the emp name, I need to get the post, department, salary from the user. Now for getting the post, I'm not going to define any variable. I'll directly write emp post equal to input box, enter the post. Now ideally, when I run this program in some other language like C language or Java language, this will throw an error because I'm trying to use a variable which is not defined. But in Visual Basic, it don't give me any error. I'll run the same program again. It is asking for the name Anand. Now the moment I press enter, it will ask for the post. Okay.
Sir, okay, but where is the data storing, sir? So
right now we
entered
are
the name.
Right.
Yeah.
That data is getting stored temporarily in this variable. Now we are not written the program to save it in the Excel sheet. Okay, after this, first we get the values from the user, then we will save it in the Excel sheet.
Fine.
Okay, now the same thing, I'll run it step by step, and you can see that this variable will have the name that I enter. Just watch on the screen. I'll remove all this in the Excel sheet. Okay, F8. That has gone to A1. Again F8. It has printed name, post, department, salary. Then when I say EMP name equal to input box, it is asking for the name. So I'm typing Anand, press enter. Again F8, it is asking for the post. I give the post as say officer. Now, if I keep my mouse on that EMP name, you will see that it is showing the value inside that. Can you see Anand?
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
Likewise, if I keep it on post, we will see that it is showing the value officer. That means these values are getting temporarily stored in the variable that we have defined. So likewise, I need to get the department and salary. So I'll just copy and paste this. No need to type it again. So EMP post is enter the post, EMP DPT is enter the department, and will for salary I will name it as EMP sal. Enter the salary. I'll copy and paste it in the chat. Now we have printed the headers. We are getting the values from the user. Now we need to save it in the Excel sheet. Now when I save the name, where should the name be saved? Remember that our cell position is in A1. So I want to print or save the name in A2. So how will I come from A1 to A2? I can use offset statement, right? Active cell dot offset 1, 0. But see here, suppose I already have some data here, some name. Okay. Now I want the new record to be displayed on A7. My cell position is in A1. How will I come to A7? Just watch on the screen. In the main data, let us say my cell position is in employee code. Okay, I will color it in yellow color. My cell position is in employee code. Now suppose I want to add a new record at the end of the database. One method is I can press control down arrow. When I press control down arrow, it will take me to the end of the database. Then I can come one row down and I can write the employee code as 101. Just a minute, somebody's at the door. I'm back. So if I want to add a new record at the end of the database, one method is I can press Control down arrow and come one row down and add it. That is one method. The other method is from A1, I can directly go to the end of the sheet. That is 10,48,576. Then come up, then come one row down. Right? Now the second method is better because suppose I have a gap somewhere here in the row 170. Suppose there is a blank row and my cell position is in A1. Now if I press Control down arrow, it don't go to the end of the database. It will go to that non-blank row above the blank row, right? So always it is better. Your database can have blank rows. So always it is better to go to the end, then come up, then come one row down. Fine. So before I save the record that I got from the user, I need to go to the end. How will I go to the end of the sheet? Suppose I want to go to the cell A10, I can write range A10.select. Suppose I want to go to the last row, then suppose I want to go to the cell 5000, A5000, range A5000.select. If I want to go to the last row, what is the last row number? 10,48,576. So I need to write range A 10,48,576 dot select. Okay, so this will take my cell from A1 to here. Now from here, the only direction that I can go is up or toward the right hand side. I want to go up. So how will I go up? I need to write active cell dot end. In the end statement, I can move the cell in those four directions. Either I can go down, Excel down, I can go to the left, Excel to left, or I can go to the right, or I can go up. Now right now I need to go up. So I'll select Excel up. Excel up dot select. So what this will do is active cell dot and Excel up. What this will do is from here 10,48,576, it is going to come up like this. Okay, but I don't want my record to overwrite the value that is in the sixth row, so I need to come one row down. So now I can write the offset statement to come one row down. Offset 1, 0 dot select. So my active cell is now this cell A7. Now how do you put a value in A7? I'll show that particular statement, then we can take a break for lunch. I'll write active cell dot value equals, what is the variable that you defined? EMP name. I'll run it and show it to you. Save the file first. So I made the entire sheet blank. Now I'm running it step by step. F8. Just printed name, post, department, salary. Now when I say emp name equal to input box, it is asking for the name Anand, post, officer, department, say training, then salary. Now when I say range A 10,48,576, it is going to the end, then coming up, then coming one row down, then putting the value. Okay. I'll copy and paste it. I am pasting the entire program again and again because I don't, or I can paste only that much statements. This much is clear?
Sir, I'm getting compile error in range 104856.
You are using 2000. You are using which is the what is the version that you are using? 2016, right?
Yeah.
Huh. Then check the value. A 10,48,576.
Yeah, it is there.
Then you should not get in error. If you are miswriting that A, it will give error. It should be in double quotes. Range in double quotes.
Yeah.
8, 10. Then it should not give any
I'm
error.
automatically getting range space K10.
Don't give a space between range and that bracket.
No, I'm not giving when running the function.
When it is running, it is giving an error there. So
invalid use of property.
okay. Can you share?
Yes. Screen is visible.
Huh. Yeah, press F8.
So automatically it's
Okay, click on OK. Click on OK. So there is a space. Can you remove that space after range?
yeah, now we
Now press F8. It is
it's
automatically
creating
putting a 1 minute. EMP salary equal to input box range 8 and 48 576. Yeah, range 8 and 48 576 dot select. You are not written dot select. We need to select that particular cell, right? Just after that closing bracket, right? Dot select.
Yeah.
And then just run it step by step and see. Working fine?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
What about others? Working fine for everyone?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. Save the file. We'll take a break. It is 2:30 now. We'll take a half-an-hour lunch break, and then we'll again start at 3 o'clock. Fine with everyone?
Fine, sir.